Boom. To another episode of Taking It to the Nub. I'm your host, Boston Jimmie, and this is my co-host, Quinton Brown. Q, we had a pretty good time last week, didn't we?
Jimmie, we had a absolutely outstanding experience to cap it off with a nice Boston Red Sox versus New York Yankees Sunday night baseball, Fenway Park, beautiful sunset, beautiful weather. But we're not here for that.
No,
we got an amazing guest.
We're here for something special that I know I was at last year. And I actually gave me an award last year for best media. So
I remember that. I was there.
It's like, right. Pretty cool, right? You know, little guys get stuff once in a while. So let's introduce our guest, Jay Ferg, the founder of Destination Herf. What's up, Jay?
What's up, Jimmie? What's up, Q?
How you doing today, man? Beautiful Saturday, isn't it?
It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon in South Florida. Couldn't ask for better weather, a better day to be outside doing the show with you guys, man.
Man, that's awesome, Jay. You reporting from South Florida. I'm here in beautiful, sunny Portsmouth, Virginia.
I love it. I haven't been to Virginia in a minute, man.
Yeah, man. I'm at Flat Street Cigar Lab in Portsmouth.
Yeah, I heard all that noise earlier.
Yeah, so we are here. I'm out on the patio so that I wouldn't, be rude to everybody inside when I'm giving Jay Ferg these sort of questions about.
Yeah, what are you smoking today?
Well,
I'm smoking a Caldwell, Long Live the King.
And I got that Caldwell Blind Man's Bluff.
All right. How about you, Q?
West Tampa Tobacco Company.
See, you didn't get the message.
I didn't.
So Caldwell's big sponsor of Destination
Herf.
I figure if you're gonna smoke a cigar, I'm gonna smoke Caldwell.
He's our title sponsor. So we always support that with every opportunity we get, because he supports us. Yeah.
Well, Robert Caldwell is one of my good friends in the cigar industry. Always shows mad love when I'm down there in the South Florida area. So shout out to Robert Caldwell and the whole crew.
Yeah, he's special people without a doubt. I had the distinct honor of being able to sit with him last year and just kind of chop it up one-on-one with him off the record. And I learned an awful lot about Robert. Robert learned a lot about me in that moment. And when you have that cigar moment with somebody who you kind of know, but you really don't know until you actually spend an hour smoking a cigar with them in quiet solitude, suddenly you bond, which is a beautiful thing, what this does. Let's talk about Destination Herf. So Q and I were both there last year. That was your inaugural year of doing it. What was your mission originally for Destination Herf? How did you come about this concept?
All right, so the concept, so just give you a little backstory, right? So I do a lot of events throughout the year. I'm involved with the South Beach Seafood Festival, Las Olas Food and Wine Festival, Jimmy Johnson Fishing Tournament, a bunch of other events. So I do all these events, and they're phenomenal events, right? And I'm like, man, this would be cool if this was a cigar event just like this, right? So you got all these activities, vendors, food, drinks going on, live music, but it was no cigar. There was a few people smoking cigars, but it wasn't cigars, right? So my vision was to create this cigar festival that's not just your typical, you go around, collect a cigar, but more of a fun, energetic day, with activities, music, food, the whole nine going on. That was my vision going into this. I didn't want to create something that I wanted something outdoors on the beach or in the park somewhere that we have a lot of space to spread out and just build out this amazing festival activation. That was my vision originally going into it.
You think you succeeded in that last year?
I think we have a great framework. We didn't go as hard as we could have went. Like we didn't bring in the live entertainment last year. We didn't bring in the stage, which we're doing all of that this year. It was kind of like year one was almost like let's test the concept to see if there needs to be some tweaks or movements as we move forward. And after kind of like testing the concept and seeing like, like how does one event flow into the other event, one day to the next, the next day. I wanted to make sure that flow worked well for everybody. And from what the feedback I've gotten back, it worked really well. So now that I kind of have the format and the concept down, now I can kind of go crazy with production and activations.
Now, is this going to be more than 2 or 3 days now? Are you expanding the week, or are you keeping it compressed to like 3 days?
Yeah, we're gonna keep it compressed, bro. I'm not a fan of me personally. I think we, in previous events that I was involved in, we did from Wednesday to Sunday, and I thought that was a bit long. I think Thursday to Sunday is perfect because for Thursday, it's for those people that want to fly in early or whatever, that's cool. But I think even if somebody's come in late Thursday night, you're not really missing the bulk of the activities, right? So you still give them that, get in on Thursday, we do the meet and greet on Thursday, collect your swag bags and everything, and then you get started Friday with everything. I'm just personally not a fan of 5 days or anything beyond Thursday to Sunday.
Can I tell you, Jay, that the event that I enjoyed the most was the event that Jimmie got his award at, the one that you guys had over in Little Haiti.
Oh yeah, the Cigar Awards dinner, yeah. So
that was amazing.
Yeah, that was something special for me because I didn't want to do, like, I know a lot of cigar events or whatever they do, vote for this person, vote for that person. And it really becomes like a popularity contest. And it's like, let me look out for my boy or whatever the case may be. I didn't want that, right? So I just wanted to say, you know what? We already know who the real players are in the game. We know who the people are that are making a difference in this industry. Why not just select them from year to year and let's give them their flowers while they're here versus doing this whole convoluted, I'm popular because I post on Facebook every single day, but you're really not contributing anything to the culture or to the industry. And that's what I wanted to create, something that we're recognizing those that are actually doing something for the culture and in the industry. And let's honor them while they're here.
So I still have my rose. It's in this jar right here. That's it's a dead rose.
So that was the idea behind the Cigar Honors Dinner, was to create something where we could honor those in the industry while they're here and not talk about them, if something happens down the road.
And you're going to do it again this year. That's a staple event. Yes.
That's a staple event. Yes.
And that's going to be on the Friday night.
That's correct.
Okay.
So the weekend schedule's going to go like this. Thursday, we're going to have our meet and greet. On Friday afternoon, we're going to do our sip and smoke. Friday night, we're going to do the dinner. Saturday in the daytime, we're going to do the Destination Herf Festival at the beach. So the Herf Fest, actually the Herf Fest is kind of like the main centerpiece of the whole weekend. So that's going to be on Saturday.
So that's still at Virginia Beach, right?
That's right.
Virginia Key
Beach. Yep. And then Saturday night, we're going to do the Midnight Burn again, which is going to be, we're only going to open it up to the all access pass holders. That's when we're going to launch the second installation of the Midnight Burn cigar at that event. And we're going to do it at, the location we did it at last year. I'm not going to say what it is. And then Sunday, we're going to have brunch. And then I'm working on something special for Sunday night, just only because Monday's a holiday. So we're going to keep the party going Sunday night.
Oh, so Monday's a holiday. So you're doing this in January or February?
January 12th through the 15th. It's MLK
Okay,
weekend.
so you're going to, we got the Martin Luther King Day.
Can you explain to the people who have not been down there the significance of Virginia Key Beach, and for those folks that really don't understand the culture of South Florida, how significant that may be for the historians, for the people who are just looking for something kind of scenic to do, and the significance of Virginia Key Beach to the South Florida culture, and particularly Black culture?
So pretty much Virginia Key Beach, back in the you know, back in the day, I would say like the 60s, 50s, 60s, there was when South Beach and Miami Beach started becoming, you know, what it is today. We weren't allowed to cross that bridge other than to work, and we had to be off the beach by dark, right? So the only beach that we had to go to was Virginia Key Beach. So if you were of African American descent, Caribbean descent, and you wanted to go to the beach, Virginia Key Beach was the beach that you were allowed to go to. And it's an historic site in Miami. I was very honored to be able to do something there. And that was actually another reason why I decided to use that venue, because I know a lot of people come from out of town to the event. And I thought that would be a great added value to give them a little history lesson about the beach being out there.
How do
I thought it
we
was
get
awesome.
this year people to actually go in the water? Because I would think it would be really cool to have like a water sport in the bay, like
Well,
a volleyball competition or something weird, because
I
the beach
mean,
is nice.
the beach is nice, you know, and hopefully more people will come with their bathing suits ready to get in the water. Actually, what I tried to do, what they won't allow me to, I tried to bring jet skis out there, but they won't allow me to do jet skis. I could just do like the what they call the paddle boards or whatever. I'm like,
Yeah.
nobody wants to do that. So I'm like, we need jet skis. So they won't allow me to bring jet skis out there. So they killed that quickly.
Oh wow. Is that a wake
I-
because of the way they have a wake zone there?
I don't know. She was just like, it's not allowed. I'm like, oh man, that was gonna be like one of my selling points right there, with the fact that you could come out here, go to the beach, jump on a jet ski, and you know, but she shut it down. So I didn't fight it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
the beach for me, I had never heard of Virginia Key Beach until you put me on. I got to give my flowers. You know what I'm saying? When everybody was like, "We're going to Virginia Key," I was like, "Virginia Key." I was like, "What is this?" And then I showed up, and it almost felt like you left Miami and went to a completely different area. Like it was beautiful. It's on bathrooms. You guys had the barbecue out there. You guys had the DJ spinning records. People were out there playing spades. Y'all had tables. I mean, it was amazing, man. It was probably
Yeah.
one of the most
it's pretty
memorable events.
It's pretty spectacular too, because the structures that are on that land are the same structures from back in the early 1900s when they designated that area. And you know, the bathrooms, the dance floor, right? The cement, the pavilion. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of history there, and I was so honored to be able to learn that, you know. And just like you, it's like I did not know about. I knew Virginia Key, but I didn't know the history of it. And I know Biscayne Bay, but there's this extra piece that, yeah, people learned a lot.
It doesn't get talked about very often. So, you know, but there's a whole other side to that beach, right? And I'm going to encourage people. I'm going to actually probably make some signage pointing arrows so people can actually go to the other side and see more of the structures and stuff that they have going on the other side. It's a whole little community back there. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Now, this year, what's the package cost this year to go? So we know it's going to be during Martin Luther King's weekend, right?
Right.
So that weekend, Thursday to Sunday, what's the package cost?
All right, so we have one package, right, which is our all access package, right? So the all access package right now is on early bird until the 31st of August, and that's $300 for the all access package, which includes your swag bag, your food, your drinks, and access to all of the events all weekend long. After August 31st, the price goes to $375. Now, there are individual event tickets available as well. So if you just want to buy a ticket to the dinner, if you want to buy a ticket to the Sip and Smoke, the festival is actually going to be free this year. So it's open. Only two events, only separate events that we're charging for is the dinner and the Sip and Smoke, but everything else is pretty much you just show up.
But the swag only comes with the all access, right?
Correct. If you have to have the all access pass the All Access Weekend Pass to get the swag and the cigars, the drinks, and the food. Everybody else that pays, you pay for individual ticket or you come to one of the free events, then it's going to be all a la carte.
Now, Caldwell is the principal sponsor. Have you got additional sponsors other than what you had last year for this one?
I'm talking to a lot of people right now. We just kind of like, you know how it is, man. You gotta find that perfect. Because my thing has always been, I don't want to just have anybody be a part of the event, just to be a part of the event. I want them to kind of understand the vision and what we're trying to build long term. And I got to have their buy-in to really look at someone being a partner with this event, because what I've built with Caldwell over this, the past few years, we have great conversations about this event and what it could be long-term down the road. So anyone that I partner with, turn on the sponsorship level, yeah, we got to have a conversation so we make sure that the vision for what we're trying to build long-term is there. And it's not just like come in, drop a couple dollars and then it's whatever. No, I want to understand what your marketing goals are. I want to understand what your mission is. So we make sure we're hitting all those points as we move forward with sponsorship. So I'm very strategic in sponsorship.
Now, Jimmie, if I'm not mistaken, Jay, please correct me if I'm wrong. Ron and Sheree were sponsored with you this past year, correct?
Right. Dallas Leaf Cigars, my good friends, Ron and Sheree, they sponsored the meet and greet last year. Correct.
Yes. They've been on the show with us before, Jimmie. So shout out to Ron and Sheree with Dallas Leaf.
Absolutely. Always show love and support.
Yeah, those are my people right there. So I wanted to make sure that I shouted them out because I if my memory served me correctly, I thought that they were a title sponsor with you guys.
Yeah, pretty much everybody that we sponsored with last year, we've been in communications with, and we're working on some sort of situation. Some people are moving from one event to the other, and I'm also talking to some other. Here with the sip and smoke, and I want to continue that. Someone I'm speaking to right now about doing that event, we're actually talking about doing it and really kind of making it like a true cigar pairing event, and really kind of bring a liquor brand and a cigar brand together with one of their brand ambassadors to kind of really do that pairing, and it's not just people just sitting around smoking and drinking.
Very, very good. Now, you have any thoughts on who that might be, or do you want to drop any names?
I don't know if I could drop the name, but you know who they are. We'll talk about it off the air.
Come on, Jay. We like breaking news out here, Jay. Let's go, man.
Yeah, I don't like, listen, the ink ain't dry yet. So I'm not saying nothing until the ink is dry. When the ink is dry, I'm putting it out there. But yeah, but you're very familiar with them. So you'll understand. When I tell you who it is, you'll understand why.
They fit the mold. They fit the mold. They fit the whole vision. I get it.
Do we have anybody that you have not told others in which the ink is dry that maybe we can get a Stogie Press exclusive here? Can you give us any?
Well, how about this?
Breaking news.
When the ink is dry, before I even post it on social media, how about I send you guys the message and you can push it out?
There you go.
We can take that.
I love Q.
We can take that.
I have a verbal, but a verbal is not all the way. I like that. I like the ink on the paper. So they've given me a verbal that they're in, but I need to get that. I know they're busy working on some stuff right now, so I'm just giving them a little time to get themselves together, and we can sit down and work out the fine details.
Now,
got you.
So last year,
I mean, listen, I get a lot of great feedback from a lot. I speak to a lot of brands, and I get a lot of great feedback from brands because I think what happens is when they initially hear, Destination Herf, it's like, what is it? What is that? Whatever. I think it's not until I kind of sit with them and explain the vision and who we are and why we're doing it why we're doing it the way we're doing it. I think it gives them a better understanding and a clarity, and I think that's where the support starts to come in from. Because they understand, like, I have a long-term plan, I've been involved with a lot of events over my career, a lot that I've seen from year 1 to year 15, 16, 17, right? So I understand that process, right? So Jimmie, we touched on this off air, right? So did I have 1,000 people at my event? No. Did I have 500 people at my event? No. That was the first year.
Right.
I understand the process, right? So I understand that as you build something, and trust me, I've been around, like I said, I've been around this for a long time, done a lot of events. And I understand like you have to, number one process with creating an event is getting the first one done. If you can get the first one done and come out with no bullet wounds and no scars, then you know you got something on your hand you can build upon.
Oh, of
So
course.
now that I got the first one under my belt, and truth be told, I'm not naive to the community and the culture, right? So I've done another event in Miami for 4 years, right? That brand is established, that brand is built up. So here I come, I move away from that brand and I drop this whole new brand, Destination Herf. Naturally, people are going to be skeptical because they know this, but they don't know this.
And
Right?
confused. There was
And
confusion last year.
right. So I understand. So I understood that process. So I've traveled around the country and people to this day, they be like, oh yeah, you would I'm like, no, I'm not doing that no more. I'm doing this. Oh, I didn't even realize, you know what I mean? So I understand the process. When you do something for 4 years consistently, it's going to take time for people to understand and realize like there's something different because they're so used to and comfortable with doing this over here in Miami in the same space. So when you drop something brand new in Miami, the same space, it's kind of like, wait, well, which is which? And we know what we're going to get here, but we're not sure what we're going to get over here. So let's sit back and see what they're going to do. But they might not even laugh. But we're going to do what we feel comfortable with doing. I understand that. And I'm not mad at that. But
Right.
I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep doing what I do.
Good. And you should. And I think that even though you may not have come out with any bullet holes or wounds, I'm sure there was some lessons that were picked up. Like I would say, depending on the amount of people that you get, have you considered if you have an increased population at this year's event, have you considered transportation, a bus or something to take people to pick them up at the hotel, the host hotel, and take them somewhere?
Right. We actually talked about doing that for Saturday for the festival.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about having transportation from the hotel to the festival. Everything else throughout that weekend, realistically, is so close to the host hotel. Like literally, City Cigar Lounge was, it's like a 5-minute Uber drive from the hotel. I think where we had the dinner and the sip and smoke, maybe like a 10-minute Uber drive. So one of the things I try to do, this is the biggest thing I hear when I go to other cities for cigar events. Man, everything is so far away.
Yeah.
I hear that every single time. Like, man, we got to drive 45 minutes this way. And I understand some cities are just spread out like that. So one of the key things that I want to make sure I addressed when putting this event together was finding a host hotel that was centralized so you don't have to drive all over town to get to any of the venues. That was one of my number one concerns going into this event, was making sure the host hotel and the venues were in close proximity to each other. And I think we did a great job in accomplishing that mission.
Excellent. Let me take a quick break here. I'm going to go shout out the sponsors for today's show, and then we'll come back. I want to dig a little bit more into who Jay Ferg is.
Let's do it.
All right. Today's show is brought to you by Platinum Nova Cigars. Platinum Nova is a family-owned and operated premium cigar company. Only the highest vintage tobacco and the most skilled hand workmanship go into the making of each Platinum Nova cigar, resulting in a timeless blend of art and craftsmanship. The Nova brand and the family's work are a tribute and an honor to their grandfather, to always remember him and his infinite passion for the finest cigars. Their love for cigars started with their grandfather, a dedicated master blender and entrepreneur in the cigar industry. So the next time you're looking for an exquisite cigar experience, pick up a Platinum Nova. You can check them out Platinum Nova Cigars, www.novacigar.com, and on their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter channels. And if you like Platinum Nova or you've never tried it, you find it, check out the new Leo 12. I think you're going to like it. Today's show is also brought to you by Rodriguez Cigars of Key West. Rodriguez Cigars started in 1971 as a family-owned cigar manufacturing and growing farm in the island nation of Cuba. They had to leave Cuba in the 1980s to go find a new home. Well, actually, in 1971, to find a new home because of the revolution that have happened. They founded in 1984 the Key West Cigar Factory. The Rodriguez Cigar Factory in Key West stands as the oldest cigar manufacturer in the Florida Keys, preserving the historical cigar manufacturing industry that began in Key West in 1831. As the years pass, new generations of family members have expanded manufacturing operations to Nicaragua, and they're proud to be working with one of the finest tobaccos in the world. Rodriguez cigars are exclusively constructed with vintage leaves that have been hand-selected, aged, and constructed through the traditional Cuban manufacturing process. If you're ever in Key West, you need to go visit the Rodriguez Cigar Factory. And believe me, take the tour that they have for $15, and when you leave, you will have made your own cigar as a memento. Today's show is lastly brought to you by Bocock Brothers Cigars. It's a new and active brand founded by two Honduran brothers, Bryant and Douglas Bocock. The brand zeroes in on those folks that are looking for easy-to-smoke cigars inspired by unusual circumstances. Very importantly named after their very interesting and imitable last name, Bocock. You can see that their logo is a rooster with a red bow tie. They are featuring right now their latest release, which is produced at AJ Fernandez's cigar factory, known as the Signature Edition, which has an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, a Nicaraguan Habano binder, and a Nicaraguan filler in 3 popular vitolas. You can check them out at www.bocockbrothers.com. And we are brought to you by Drew Estate.
That only the Lone Star State can contain it. Music, spirits, mouth-watering barbecue, cigars galore, and so much more. It'll be the most epic shindig there ever was. Barn Smoker presents Savage Feast, October 22nd at the South Fork Ranch, Dallas, Texas. Get your tickets now at barnsmoker.com.
And believe me, you're going to want to go to a Barn Smoker if you haven't. There's only 2 left, the Kentucky Barn Smoker and the Savage Feast in Dallas, Texas. Savage Feast is going to be at South Fork Ranch. It's going to be the blowout of all Barn Smokers that they've planned. Every one of these has been amazing. The swag, the cigars, the camaraderie. They're the only company that's doing this big of a festival numerous times. And when you go to a festival, normally you're getting all different brands from different companies. You go to a Drew Estate festival, it's all Drew Estate brand, but there's so many different brands ranging from acid all the way to Ligas that there's something in there for everybody. So you're going to really enjoy yourself at any one of these Barn Smokers. You only got 2 left, so check them out when you get a chance. Let's come back to Ferg. Jay.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about who you are and how you got started in cigars and what your background was prior to cigars.
All right. So I started smoking cigars I forgot. I stopped counting the years after 20 years. So I've been smoking for quite a while. So like around 2013, 2014, social media started really kind of like becoming more of a, the groups, a lot of groups were on there and stuff like that. So I was smoking with a buddy one night and we decided to start a cigar club, right? So it was like, let's go, let's make this cigar club happen. And needless to say, coming from the events background, I'm thinking grand, like, yo, we can start a cigar club, we can get an event going, and I'm like, there's no real cigar events in Miami, so we had this whole grand plan laid out, and he flaked on me, right? So I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm ready to go. You flaked on me, right? So at this point, I had already, come up with a name of the cigar group and all of that good stuff. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So at that point, I really started getting involved in social media. I started meeting other people in the cigar industry. This is around the time Top Notch, which was Signature Cigars, first opened up. So then I started seeing more of the black cigar smokers in South Florida. So after that, I got approached about doing a cigar event, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm down. Let's make it happen. So we did that event, like I said, for 4 years. And after that, it was kind of like I was hooked just from doing that event and having to start interacting with, manufacturers and, getting sponsors on board and everything. I just kind of got more engulfed with it. I started going to the trade shows and started doing my own research and studying on the whole culture and the manufacturing process, the different blends and everything. And I just started like educating myself on the cigar culture. And then it kind of morphed, I just became a cigar guy after that. Like I said, before that, I was just smoking cigars. And from a background perspective, before that, I was just doing events. I was doing events since 1997. It's when I first started doing events, and it just kind of like, it just morphed into this, what it is now. I know me and you spoke about this I think a year or so ago at PCA, but I had started a online, I started the concept of an online cigar magazine. They call them blogs nowadays. But I just been so busy with everything else I got going on that I haven't had a chance to really touch on that, but it's something that I'm very passionate about doing. So I have a lot of great ideas for that as well. So hopefully I'll get to touch on that within the next year or so. But as far as the cigar world, yeah, the events was a natural progression for me, from doing seafood festivals and food and wine festivals and golf tournaments and fishing tournaments and, black tie dinners for clients. It was a natural progression for me to eventually bring all of that knowledge and background and bring it to the world of cigars and create something special. That's why I like the Barn Smoker so much, because that event is so different to me from your typical cigar festival that you will go to. And for them to do that 5 times in 1 year, I think it's nuts. I think it's phenomenal, but
there's a lot of practice, right? So like, from one to the next, there's always a little twist in it, right?
Right.
For each one features something special about that particular area, the tobacco, the barbecue, different things like that. But the basic vibe is the same. And they've been doing it for so long. It's for them, it's just kind of go set up. It's like, just one thing after another. Very clockwork. They're very clockwork too, if you notice, right? They started on time. They get the people in on time. They do the speeches in time. They do the tours. They do the food. They do the free flow of people to the different activation stations now and the drinks. And it's like, before you know it, it's 5 o'clock. It's time to go. Raffles, right, and everybody leaves.
And the funny thing about it, like, with what I do, not to sound whatever, but, I know like a lot of events, a lot of projects have like, big teams, right? And I don't have a big team of people, on Destination Herf with me, very, very, very small team, but a very dedicated team, and that's the thing that I think is going to help us to go to that next level, is the fact that, I have a dedicated team of people around me that go to bat for me every single time, no matter what event we're working. And the thing is, they don't just work with me on Destination Herf, they work with me on all these other events as well. So the synergy from that is there. So they already know what the expectations are when we're doing this time of doing events. So it's like having a group of people like that around me is what makes everything work. So it's not just me, but it's my small little army behind me that help to push this thing forward and make it what it is and what it's going to be in the future.
So when you think about people that talk about, oh, I'm going to run an event, right? You know, it's like me, people say, I'm going to get into cigar media, right? And they don't know what they're stepping into on day one. They have a vision and they jump. And what is it? How much time do you spend just on making Destination Herf happen?
So the event ends in January 15th. So I'll tell you right now, at the brunch, I was updating the website. Okay. So that tells you
for the following year.
Yeah. At the brunch, I was on my laptop, updating the website, coming soon, save the dates for 2023. That's how much I work on Destination Herf. Every single day. I worked on it. I woke up this morning and I was working on it. I'll wake up tomorrow morning and I'll work on it again. I put work in on Destination Herf every single day. In the midst of everything else I got going on, I find a way to make a couple phone calls, send some emails, update the website, get merchandise produced, researching different swag items. It never stops. It's a year-round process.
Now, how hard is it on the merchandise side this year with trade issues? I mean, I don't know where you're getting your merch coming from.
It was bad last year, but I think because I've gotten a jump start on some of the items I'm looking at, I've already spoken to manufacturers like, yo, how's your stock looking? And they'll be like, oh, we got 20,000 pieces. Okay, cool. We're good. I'm only gonna need like 300 of them. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be fine. Just a little backstory. So my other business, I also own a printing and promotional products business, right?
Okay.
So I deal with thousands and thousands of manufacturers in the database. So I'm able to search product that the average person would never be able to get access to unless they go to someone like me. But I'm able to check it on the wholesale level through a database, and I can search products. And that's kind of like my unfair advantage that I have with my swag. Because I'm in this business, I'm able to get swag that, I'm not paying, what you would pay as a retail customer. I'm getting it as a wholesaler. So because of my business, it's afforded me the opportunity to kind of like, get my shirts done cheaper, my hats done cheaper, my bags are cheaper. So that's why I'm able to put together these amazing swag bags every year that everybody get to take back with them. That's the one thing I don't slack on. I do not slack on the swag bags at all.
I still, you know what? That swag bag is one of my more favorite bags that I use. I actually use that to keep all my Taekwondo stuff in when I work out now every day. All right. That's my Taekwondo carry bag.
It's funny. I went to a cigar event in Washington, D.C. last month, and I saw 3 people carrying that swag bag. They were like, no. They were like, yo, we use our bags. Like, we use these for real. So I'm like, okay, that's what's up. So I put a lot of these, go ahead, Q.
I was saying there's nothing better than promotion off the cuff, right?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. If you give them something that they actually want to use, they become your walking billboards. And that's why, see, look at that. That's why, even when I made my hats, I didn't make like a typical, promotional hat. I actually put a little effort into, making it something people actually want to be wearing on a regular basis. So I've gotten non-cigar smokers come up to me and was like, yo, what's that brand? Like, what, you know what I mean? So it's something people would actually want to wear. So that's kind of like the mission, is to always create swag that people actually want to use. And I'm gonna tell you two events that I used as a model when I came up with, there's three events. It's an event that we do called the Chef Showdown in October. I use that event, the Barn Smoker, and the Heritage Festival. Those 3 events are the events that I use when I was putting my blueprint together for Destination Herf. All 3 of them had components that I thought really, really worked. And I felt if I bring them all together, I could create something special.
So let me for everybody that's watching and now or after, let me just share. So for those that are interested in Destination Herf, you can go to destinationherf.com. And I have to hand it to Jay. This is a beautiful website that you've put together. It's very easy to navigate. In here, you can see the tickets are on sale. I don't know. You got June 10th, 2023, but not sure what that's about.
That's when they went on sale.
23? That's next year.
Oh wow. Yeah, I gotta fix that. thanks for bringing that to my attention.
I just noticed it myself because you got the whole thing on 23.
Yeah.
You might want to fix that. Okay. Anyway, so January 15th, 12th to the 15th, 23 is when it's going to happen. It's got the countdown in here. You can buy cool Destination Herf gear. He talks about what it's all about. You can click over here and get tickets now. And you can pick up right here with the different ticket costs. You do have these things called cabanas, right?
Yes.
Which are at Virginia Key, right?
Yes.
So you could share this with 6 people. So $100 a piece, right? They can get in to get a cabana.
Yep.
All right. And then you can also get bottle service for more. Now, what does the bottle service give you?
So you get 2 bottles and a box of cigars, and you get seating for 6 in your own private cabana.
Okay. That's a really good deal, actually.
Yeah, I think that's the most valuable, and for the location, from what I saw attending, I think that's a no-brainer for anybody that's thinking about it. It definitely paid its way well in full to be able to sit down, get a drink. You got your bottle sitting there, pour yourself a drink, get yourself a cigar, walk around, get the barbecue that you guys have out there. So I know I'm promoting, but go ahead.
Yep. So you've got your sponsors right now coming up. If you want to become a sponsor, you can you can sign up to be a sponsor.
Yep.
What level? You have levels of sponsorship?
If you click at the bottom, you see it gives you the options to choose what they're interested in picking it. Yeah, so we got everything right there.
Okay. Very cool. And then you have vendors. So I enjoyed the fact what I liked is you had your vendor booth set up really nice. You had them all around the outside area where everybody was sitting, and all. How did your vendors do last year? Were they happy with their attendance, with their
Well,
sales?
they've all reached out to come back. So
okay,
that's a good sign.
Okay. And then of course you've got this blog on here, which I guess
I posted nothing.
You're
Still working
trying
on
to
that.
work on something there.
Yeah.
So these are so you can go there, and that's how you buy your tickets. If you want to become a sponsor or a vendor or participate in Destination Herf, that's where you can go to destinationherf.com.
That's right.
Awesome.
I appreciate that, Jimmy.
Let me take another fast break. I'm going to go through what's new in news and reviews and things on Stogie Press. It was a busy week last week with the Connecticut Barn Smoker, so there was only a few things going on, but we will still share out what happened this week. So this week on Stogie Press, so I got a couple of reviews in. I have one more I was going to do, but today I got so bogged down. I'm still writing the recap on the Barn Smoker, and I do want to get that out tomorrow. So you'll have another review probably on Monday. The first one I looked at, so we have a new Cigar Clowns that came out. The Cigar Clowns called the Recession. Okay. And this is not like any Cigar Clown. If you're familiar with their brand, they tend to have very bold, heavy, good cigars. This particular one is not your typical Cigar Clown cigar. All right. It's not going to fit that normal profile. What it is a Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan binder and filler. They never tell us where the factory or the vitola is. These are always very short runs. This cigar is $17 though, and that kind of hurt them in the rating. because you're gonna have to get these in a shop. They're only doing it for a shop in New York, short run, and because of New York pricing, and they're down in Wall Street where their shop is, that's gonna tack on a lot of fees and shit. So it ends up being $17, which is a tough one to take. But it did give me some chocolate and cream, dry fruit, pepper, spice, and woodiness to it. So it had a decent profile. It looked well constructed. It had a decent burn, a little, just a little, started going a little off once the ash fell, and it kind of needed a pretty big touch up right here. And then it was fine to the end. So hour and 25 minutes smoke. It was a decent smoke, but I think it could have been improved on the burn. And of course, the price is always painful. To tell somebody to go buy a box at $17. The second one I looked at, I picked this up at actually at Bongo Ron's down in Connecticut. Ron advised me, he says, hey, try this new Tatuaje Tuxla. And the Tuxla is a tribute actually to the growing region in Mexico where they grow the San Andreas wrapper. Okay, so it features obviously a San Andreas wrapper, a Nicaraguan binder and filler. This is a $10 cigar. I got this phenomenally beautiful profile, very well balanced, both flavors and aromas all kind of mixing and working together. I had things like caramel. It starts off with a kind of a cayenne pepper hit, right? Sort of like the first half an inch just kind of like gives you that nasal burn, and warming cheeks. And then it calmed down and it kind of morphed into a cinnamon note, which kind of stayed with the cigar. There was definite cocoa and cream and dark chocolate nuances. And there was a natural sweetness that came in that kind of also stayed with us. So you think of like cinnamon and sweetness running through the core of the cigar. And then there was some nuttiness and some oakiness to it also. Absolutely beautifully constructed cigar. It only comes in one size, a 4 3/8 by 52, as I would consider that like a short Robusto. It's got this beautiful kind of reddish brown wrapper to it. So it's not your normal San Andreas, right? So they got a special batch of San Andreas. Pete Johnson, he just knows what he's doing. Beautifully constructed, triple cap, fantastic packing on it. Burn wise, okay, it's got a little bit of a wave in the burn. So you lose a little point for that, but that's really the only thing it lost. Perfect burn cone when it dropped. The ash was beautifully long on it. I just couldn't say enough about this cigar. Yeah, it loses a point because of that wave, but it gets extra points because of the ash. It was consistent and pleasurable. I smoked 2 of these and it was the same each time. So that same ash carried. So the construction was there. And yeah, this is a box-worthy cigar in my mind. So great job, Pete Johnson and Tatuaje on this one. When it comes to news, so GTO, Dominican Cigars, has announced their 12-year aged oak barrel cigars. They've also, so these are coming out a Reserva for Atlanta. And they come in 2 sizes, a Figurado and a Corona Gorda. They're also coming out with an update to their Patatu, okay, which is going to be an 8 by 60 on this, and they're going to be in boxes of 20. So look for those to start hitting the market and the social media airwaves. Crown Heads announced their annual exclusive for Hawaii, the Pañuelo Especial. So this one in here is a 5 1/4 by 52 Robusto, and it's going to have a Connecticut binder. Fillers and tobacco. Fillers are coming from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic, and it's got an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper. They're doing 4,000 of these, and they're carrying a retail price of $11. They're being made by Ernesto Perez Carrillo, so they're always good. And they're going to be featured at our Field Wine and Company at the Waikiki Hotel. They do this every year for them. Um, and then, of course, Drew Estate. So going back to Drew Estate, if you haven't got onto the package yet, these are showing up in shops right now. Freestyle Live, new mystery cigar. I just got my pack today. There are 3 different Vitolas in this, different size Vitolas. You don't know what it is. You don't know what the blend is. You don't know what the name is. It's supposed to be, it's a new cigar from Drew Estate. They've done this in the past. They did this with the Adobe that they came out with. But as part of this, the deal is amazing because you want to get part of their September 28th Freestyle Live event. And what they do, if you remember the last time, they gave away a Bitcoin, right? I mean, they just like crazy with the stuff they give away. This time around, the grand prize on that show is a 2022 Black Dodge Charger valued at $32,000. So you could win a $32,000 car, or you could win a Gibson Les Paul dark limited guitar valued at $1,600, or you can win one of another 25 prizes, which are going to be pewter ashtrays coming out of Subculture Studios. So definitely get involved in this, especially if you're a Drew Estate fan. Even if you're not, you know what? It's always fun to smoke something you have no idea what it is and try it. Okay. Basically, I've always felt you can't go wrong with that and have a good time with it. The other one that came out was from our friends over at Fuerte Libra. They've announced the Avalanche. The Avalanche is going to be a 6x50 and a 6x52. This is a work that that Greg Free, the owner, has been working on for 18 months. He was trying to create a uniquely mild cigar loaded with subtle Dominican flavor. So try to process all of that, what that means to you. It's an Ecuadorian Connecticut with Dominican binder and filler. They're going to be $10.50 to $11.50 for each Vitola, and they're going to be coming in 21 count boxes. So the other, and that's the news for the week. We also put out in the lounge reviews this week, we pushed out this lounge review, which is the one I was talking about earlier, Bongo Ron's. So there is Bongo Ron's. All right. This is an absolutely beautiful place to visit. This is the front foyer. Okay. The checkout counter is over to the right. This is the humidor in the back. This is Bongo Ron. See what I mean? Looks a little bit like
Sam Elliott.
It looks a little bit like Sam Elliott. He has a very well-stocked humidor. If you can't find something in his humidor, you don't like cigars. It's as simple as that. And the pricing is extremely reasonable because he has everything at the proper MSRP plus 50 cents, because 50 cents is the state tax in Connecticut. Every cigar, regardless of size, is 50-cent tax. So they keep it simple. So the state gets their 50 cents. So it's MSRP usually plus 50. So it's kind of like Florida plus 50 cents. So I found that to be quite reasonable. The first floor has a couple of lounge area rooms. Okay. There's a lounge area, and then there is a music room area. And then there's a coffee and ice station for the patrons. He's also a huge fan of Oscar Valladares, and he is probably the only one that I know of that has the full collection of the Cicerone boxes. Okay. And because he loves Oscar so much, he made some cigar box guitars for him, including a stand-up bass.
Nice.
Using this beautiful Cicerone box, right? You go outside, there's an outside patio deck, which is neatly apportioned with all kinds of aquatic stuff. And looking out over that is another seating patio on the outside off the street area here. So many different places you can sit and enjoy a cigar. And then there's a members only lounge upstairs where the members have their own beer tap. They pay for it. He has nothing to do with it because the laws in Connecticut only allow that for members only. So they take care of that themselves. They could store their own whiskeys and bourbons and spirits that they want there too. They got some nice seating areas and TVs. And so this is their quiet area, a little microwave and a coffee station. So, but you don't really need to, be a member to really appreciate the lounge, because that downstairs is so magnificent that it was a very chill place to hang out. They also does special events. He does weddings and bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, corporate events. You got an event, he runs events for that. So you could check him out if you're in Connecticut area or you happen to be up there. By the way, Old Saybrook is a great place to go on a vacation if you want a nice New England town that's a sea town without having to go to Boston or New Hampshire. This is a beautiful little place to go visit. I really enjoyed the few hours that I was there, and I could see myself going back even with my wife just to stay at one of the small resorts that they have there. So a very cool place. Check that out. And then lastly, we put out the interview we did 2 weeks ago with Sebastian from Cavalier. You can check that out. That's up there, and it's also on our YouTube channel now. So that's the news, reviews, and other things on Stogie Press.
Jimmie, it's Sebastian's birthday.
It is Sebastian's birthday today. I did wish him a happy birthday, and I did send him the link to that to say, here, happy birthday. You can post this all you want now. Yes. And in fact, he said he's 31. I said, congratulations. You're now exactly one half my age. That made me feel, and as I was typing that, I realized how freaking old I really am. And I'm still doing this.
Still doing it, still going.
I'm still not giving up the passion, So this is the point in the show where we kind of do some lightning round work with you.
Okay,
and this is where we try to keep the questions short. Q, you want to kick it off?
Jay Ferg, are you
Yes,
a sports fan?
Yes, I am.
All right, who's your team? Give
Miami
me some of
Dolphins.
your Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins in football, Boston Celtics in basketball. Don't really have a baseball team or hockey team.
Okay. And how do you get your teams that far spread apart?
All right, so Miami, because obviously I live in South Florida, so that's, I'm a home team guy.
Right.
Boston. Okay, so when I was a kid, I have a brother that's a year older than me, and I remember back in like in the 80s, the Celtics were playing the Lakers in the championship, and he was like, "Well, I'm a Lakers fan." So I'm like, "Well, I'm a Celtics fan," because I just had to go against him. Whatever he was picking, I'm going the other way, and
Right.
it just stuck all these years. Because I'm like, "You're only a Lakers fan because of whatever." So I just wanted to go against the grain, and I just became a Celtics fan back in the 80s, and it just never wavered.
Got you.
Are you a Canes fan?
Not really.
They're supposed to be big time this year.
Yeah,
New
I've heard
coach.
that. I've heard that for many years.
Well, they got the new coach.
Well, you know what? The landscape of college football. So my son played college football, right? And the landscape of college football has changed so much because now, with the advent of social media, these kids, they get this. Before, back in the day, all they knew was South Florida. They grew up wanting to see, and play for the U. But now you got all these kids from South Florida going all over the country, so you're not even, like, as Jimmy Johnson said back in the day, they had a fence around South Florida, right? So the best players did not leave South Florida. Now you got a lot of the best players leaving South Florida, going to the Alabamas, but they see these, and I'm only speaking from experience, because when I went on, college trips with my son, when he played football, and you go to some of these schools, you see some of these facilities, and it's like, oh my God, like, this is where you get to, like, hang out and eat and work. It's the facilities is what was, I think, that made a difference. Have better facilities now, but for a lot of years they did not. And I think, you got schools like Oregon where Nike pretty much just, spoils them with the best of everything. So being a private university, a small private university at that, compared to Alabama or Notre Dame or USC, these big schools that got all this money behind them, facilities were just way better. And I think that enticed a lot of these kids to leave home.
I got a question. So I had to steal this from a talk show I heard yesterday, and I just love this question. Casino or Goodfellas?
I'm sorry, I got to go Goodfellas.
All right. By the way, I put the link out for the After Herf. So those that are joining, just stay with us for a moment in the waiting room. I'll be getting to you in just a second.
That's a tough question. That's a hell of a question right there. That's like, you can't go wrong either way. But I'm definitely a Goodfellas guy.
There's Scorsese movies, right? And the same actors.
Yes.
They play slightly different roles, but then there's Sharon Stone in, I mean, does a really good role in Casino.
Yeah. I mean, they're both phenomenal movies. If they come on TV, no matter what I'm doing, I'm stopping and watching either one.
Exactly. I literally hadn't watched Casino in a long time. I've watched Goodfellas a bazillion times, right? And I actually got kind of a strange personal connection to that movie, the real story, right? Which is whole nother discussion. But I actually last night had to go watch Casino. I stayed up till like 2:00 in the morning because that's like a 3-hour movie, right? And I was like, yeah, this is a damn good movie. Right? I forgot how good that movie is.
Phenomenal movie. Both of them are great movies.
Okay.
Henry Hill and freaking Sam Rothstein.
That's it, man. And they're both based on, well, one's based purely on, very much the reality of what happened. The other one is based loosely, Casino is based loosely on what happened in Vegas.
In Vegas, yeah.
Yeah. What is your favorite genre of music?
Favorite genre of music? I would have to say right now, I don't really have a favorite genre right now. I listen to a lot of European hip hop. I listen to a lot
European
of
hip hop.
Yeah,
Who's a good European hip hop artist?
Oh man, there's so many. You got Skepta, you got Wiley, you got Stormzy, you got Kano, you got who else? So many of them, man. You got Red Street 2, you got Avelino. I've been on the Afrobeat thing before Afrobeat became popular. I was on a lot of that stuff. I just got bored with music. In the United States, it was sounding so cliche and so much of the same over and over again. But I search. There's this one chick out of Sweden that I listen to. Her name is Sherry. I can't understand a lick of Swedish, but her music is just phenomenal. There's another guy, a group out of London called Rugged Man Bones. Love their music, phenomenal. So I just search for like different genres of like people that I just never heard before that have such a different sound that just captures my ear. So I'm very diverse in my musical taste.
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm rock and roll through and through, jazz and blues. I was never really into the hip hop scene. I can listen to it for a little while, but then I just feel that it gets a little monotonous to me.
Jimmie, I had you listening to hip hop on our ride to Connecticut.
Yeah, it didn't last forever. Notice that, right? We went back to Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and Ozzy Osbourne.
I was telling we were trying to do the whole series. Like they weren't playing anything I could really get him into that he would know, but occasionally, a good song came on. I was like, oh, okay.
I'm okay with that. But I can move across the genres, when I need to. I mean, I've gone to operas, I've gone to ballets, so I can add those to the genres too. A good opera is a good opera, even if you can't understand a word they're saying.
I can picture a young Jimmie at a rock concert back in the day, rocking out.
Yeah, well, my hair was down to my shoulders. I didn't have a beard, only a mustache. and I had very, very dark glasses.
You need to post some of those pictures, man.
I'll show you those in a moment. After we go on the after Herf, I'll show you one, which will kind of blow your mind. So anyway, I want to thank you. We're going to call the show here, and we're going to open it up to the after Herf. So anybody wants to join, I'll drop that back in there in case you missed it. You can join the after Herf. It's open now for everybody to join. And I want to thank you, Jay. I'll give you the last word.
No, I mean, I want to thank you, Jimmy, for reaching out, man. I appreciate the invitation to be on to chop it up with you guys today, man. As a official, you know, you one of the first Destination Herf Cigar honorees, and we definitely appreciate you coming out last year and hanging out with us. And the phenomenal write-up you did post-event was awesome. Appreciate that.
I love it.
Appreciate all your support, man. I'm
It's
looking forward to continuing to build this event into something great for many years to come.
Well, I'm there to support you, brother. I love what you're doing. I have the same attitude that even Robert Caldwell said, and I'll never forget those words when we sat down and did the Midnight Herf. And he basically said, you all know how to do it right. As long as you keep doing it the way you're doing it, I'm going to keep supporting what you're doing. And,
Yeah.
And I'm there.
And that's, you know, again, that comes back from having that communication with your sponsors and understanding what their goals are and, you know, coming together and making that mission complete. You know,
Yep.
He gets what he wants out of it. I get what I want out of it. And the people get to enjoy a great event. I think we lost Q.
Yeah, we did. He'll come. Maybe he'll come back. He was in his car. Probably lost the signal. Anyway, I want to thank the sponsors and all the viewers today and later that you're watching it. Don't forget, love, like, and share this, and you too can get into the Wheel of Wonderfulness Wow Factor next Saturday. And you know, Boss Jimmy's going to give you something good because I always do. That's my thing. My wife says, clean out the humidor.